just allow me. Let me land my thoughts today. It's really hot. It's hot. It's sizzling. So let me drop what it is I need to learn, and then we'll start chatting and discussing. I'll bring everybody up after that. So, wow, greetings everyone. So welcome to today's session, the live session. This is a powerful moment, and as I sent the note out earlier, if you've read the notes, then you already have the framework, right? You already have a grasp of the direction I'm taking the discussion. Okay. So when I say grow up, receive your power to prosper with emotional development, there are three things happening in that title. Number one, we must acknowledge that there is a side of us that we need to elevate, that we need to ascend. So that grow up is a call to get bigger, because your breakthrough, okay, you will experience a breakthrough when you mature, right? So you always know, my students always know, I talk about 4 areas of maturity: spiritual, emotional, right, intellectual, and physical. You see, physical, you eat good food, you sleep well, you do the basics, natural order of your cellular nature, right? The state of your cells in the physical, how you care for your body, that's pretty much, people know balanced diet, food groups, sleep well, behavioral science, like that is well studied, that is well presented, that is well understood from child, like take care of your teeth, brush your teeth, shower, like the physical order, right? That keeps cells, teeth, face, everything refreshed, renewed, right? Bathing, all of those physical care, how you look, buy clothes, buy shoes, be presentable physically. The world is well educated, and we spend a lot of money for that physical upkeep, exercise, eat good food, balanced diets. You see, makeup industry, fashion industry, everything industry, jewelry, everything is the system of the world has been organized around physical development, physical presentation, physical everything. And that's beautiful. Listen, the beauty of your physical, listen, if you've got it, flaunt it. Maybe they will say, because you deserve it. You see, there are catchphrases that says, invest in the physical presentation of yourself, like dress for success. All those things, look the way you want to be addressed. The the sayings, like that's the way you look physically and the way you put yourself together. The self-care, it matters to how people respond to you. Everybody gets that. So we put so much, all our attention, the house you live in, the car you drive, the shoe you wear, the bags, the way you look, whether you look Beats, whether you look this, whether it's Gucci. We know that it has been communicated that it matters to how humans assess one another and make decisions on your wealth or your, whatever you are. We know that. So we put a lot of effort into that packaging. You see, the packaging of self. Listen, package, please package. I package, you package. We brand yourself. That's not the point. But if that is all you're doing, if that is all your consciousness is, if that is all you're focused on, welcome. So we've grown up into a society organized by physical presentation, physical, right? Out physical courage, the packaging, the labeling, you even wear labels. That's the world, the natural world, the third dimension. When all is said and done, people just want you, they assess your okayness, how okay you are by, physical presentation. So we mask everything and we focus everything that we do on that. Getting the right house, the job, the car, the look, the wife. In fact, eternal decisions of spouse, we will say Listen, the choice of you, right? We make choices also by tall, dark, this, answer, beauty, this, bad courage, this. Listen, today we are going to have fun. We're going to talk about real life, the love, this life. So even decisions, trophy wife, basketball husband, NFL husband, like who you are, if even you want to hang out, you want, people will assess you by the person you're, whose hand, look at my husband, look at my spouse, I've arrived, he's tall, he's this, she's like, you know. So people make decisions based on presentation, physical world, third dimension. But you see, all of the back end that matters to your divine nature, that matters to your well-being, that matters to your connection back to your source, God, right? Your assignment, your purpose, your destiny. There's not enough call to order. There's not enough messaging out there to say, prioritize spiritual growth, prioritize emotional development, prioritize intellectual growth, because through that is actually where you receive the power. That's where you receive everything heaven has for you, for this life, for the physical world. It's actually from there you can become. It's actually from there you can ascend. It's actually from there you can build wealth. It's actually the blessing of the Lord that maketh rich. Where is it coming from? That side. So everybody is tuning in, getting their messaging from third dimension, and searching and looking for how to present themselves here. However, I'm telling you, when you get to a place and you realize that stuff is not complete, welcome. The place of connecting your spiritual nature to your physical well-being and health, the way it was designed is actually that your spiritual self drives decision making with the quantum, the middle layer, the soul. And it's decisions your spiritual self makes that your physical form takes on the form you desire, you will it to be, not what the world desires for you. But when people are, and this is the world system, right? The world system, when you show up, they start orienting you to learn that third dimension and then be stuck in it, right? Go to school. 1, 2, 3 is that the world system teaches you before you wake up for God to teach you. So many people get so entangled, intertwined in that world that they forget their power, their source, their individuality, their self-agency, their autonomy, their power to actually choose who they want to be. So the self is formed by the world system. But now, whenever you want to now do you see, when you are ready to do you, the thoughts, ideas, dreams, hopes, dreams, aspirations that you are carrying in the spiritual side that wants to burst forth, that wants to come out, and you need power, your own power to push it. Whenever you are awakened to the fact that there are things inside of you that wants to express itself, but maybe the world has suppressed your spiritual intelligence, but has offered you nature, not right, nature, nurture, culture. And so nature, nurture, culture is sitting on top of your spiritual power. Yeah, it's ruling. When nature, nurture, culture, DNA, nurturing, physicality, world system, go get it. All the messaging you've been programmed with, you've received from baby, from childhood. When all that programming, when you realize that they've suppressed, this world system is held above your spiritual nature. When you're trying to grow up, when you've been planted by God on planet Earth, but the world system, the stories are too heavy, right? You are living and manifesting expectations, when actually the way God designed it was this way. Your spiritual self was supposed to receive power, put it, make decisions through your desires. Believe is desire speaking. If your desire is not speaking, and if it's not vibrating, and if it's not manifesting, and if it's not producing, it's because The power of your spiritual self is still held. It hasn't been pushed with your will. You've not exerted your will upon the earth. You've not showed the world who you really are. You're showing the world who they said you should be. But when you are ready to show up, to be you, right? Everything God invested in you that you are carrying spiritually, when you are ready to produce it, your body has to receive it. Your mind has to produce it. Your heart has to be activated by your own desire. Because when your desire is speaking, when your desire is awake, when you are ready to produce what God said you should produce, what God said you should become, you know what? Believe. You will believe it. You believe yourself. You be confident in yourself and you do the work. So that's that grow up understanding that there's something that wants to grow up, a seed. The seed of God, the power of God, talents, hopes, dreams, aspirations, ideas, businesses, all of the things people are carrying, right? It's alive and well. Hope deferred, right? Keep it alive, fan it to flame. It wants to show up. It wants to grow up. And what I'm sharing today, you will need power to produce those results. And that power is sitting, okay, in your spiritual self, in your divine self, in your divine nature, in your higher self, okay? And what typically happens is that the middle layer, the spiritual self, the physical self, the middle layer that has been pre-programmed with thoughts, ideas, beliefs, conclusions, decisions that the body is responding to. Because that middle layer, if your thoughts is not in your middle layer and the thoughts of others are in your middle layer, your body doesn't make a difference. Because everybody, every human, every relationship, every human you're in relationship with is wired with the power of God. So if their own power, when you came in, you were a baby, they had grown, they had more power, they labeled you, they gave you name, they gave you everything, they told you who to be, they sent you to school, they invested their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own energy, they helped you build out your quantum. Before you knew what to do with your quantum, they built it out for you. And so your body started behaving. School system, teachers. How many teachers have you had in your realm, right? 20 years of from just realize that people's thoughts are inside you. Every teacher is teaching what they know and imprinting you with the best at every math teacher, chemistry teacher, physics. If you close your eyes, you will remember what they said, who said it, when, how, right? So somebody is always teaching you. The question is, when are you going to teach yourself? When are you going to train? Because the quantum layer needs to be trained, programmed with thoughts, ideas. Somebody has to do that work, because that's what the physical nature is built out of. And it takes power. Only powerful, only people who have a voice, only people who have thoughts. It's only people who are expressive, who have an identity and know something that they want to share. They are the only people that can train the quantum. Because that quantum layer only responds to thoughts impregnated with power. That's all it. So if you are not talking to yourself, if you are not making decisions for yourself, if you are not clear about your own thoughts and organizing your quantum, organizing your thoughts, organizing your beliefs, if you are not doing it, the question is, who is doing it for you? And which movie are you watching? Because whoever programs the quantum rules the body. Whatever thoughts are in the quantum is what the body will awaken to and respond to. So whoever you prioritize in your quantum, listen, when that person calls your body, the body will say yes. When they call your name, yes. That's what energizes the physical. But your body was given to you for what you are here to do. So it's time to grow up, right? Take your power back, do the inner work. And so when I say emotional development, the third aspect of that title is that when you don't know what to do with power, because power is not given to people who don't grow up emotionally, because emotional development is you knowing your emotions is how you spend your power. If God gives you power today to do something, but you take all that power and you are getting angry, getting upset, getting frustrated, that's your productivity. That's how you're spending your currency. And God doesn't want to fund your destruction or the destruction of other people. So he holds it. Power is restrained. Listen, it's like you have a car, you have something important, powerful to give your children. You will let them grow up. But here's the key. When people are stuck not growing up, they are overwhelmed with the pre-programming. What's going on? So this program is helping people unpack your quantum, take charge of your thoughts, your ideas, because that's where your life is produced. Your thoughts are real, thoughts of other people inside you. Whoever did you this, whoever did you that, get a grip and deal with those things. And also, when I talk about emotional development, here's also what's going on. Emotional development is something we ought to have been given in childhood. How? And I'll tell you how it ought to have been given, and then I'll also explain to you what happened. You see, for you to develop emotionally, you have to consider what's going on inside you. You have to express. You have to be in, right? Because part of your rights, let me put it, a right of yourself is self-expression. You are here to express yourself. Otherwise, you just pass through life. No imprints, no impact. That's it. Right? Part of the exercise of your higher self is to show up and to declare, this is who I am, to express yourself, your thoughts, your ideas. That's a right. Like, that is your best spiritual right. When you show up here, you've already won many battles. When you were born, you already won battles. You know how humans arrive in this world, right? Okay, you've arrived. You are arrived carrying messages from heaven. And you are here to express and present and unpack what you are carrying and show the world the glory of God. What God has put inside you, you are supposed to say, hey, I have an idea. This is who I am. I think the world, you're supposed to contribute to the world and move the world forward progressively. But the only types of people that can do that are people who actually know who they are and they understand their assignment. And they have a will and they have a way. And they know that they are supposed to take up space in the world. You're supposed to show up. Room, like third dimension was supposed to make room for you. To say, hey, I'm here. Make room for my thoughts. Make room for my ideas. This is my domain. Because this is the duty of your higher self. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. Subdue it. Meaning, take over, take charge. Make room. Own something. Property, build. Express yourself. Show up. What are your desires? Take it. Do the work to manifest desires. Spiritual desires. So but where do you practice that first? Where do you practice making room? When you are in your family of origin. People were supposed to make room for you when you arrived and you started crying. They made room for you. You remember Jesus? Make room for you remember what happened? Yeah, they didn't make room. They had to, but God still made room. But the room was somehow, some of you, the room you got was the same. Jesus didn't get hotel in the world to receive their Messiah. The person that was supposed to save the whole world. Make room in luxury hotel. Make room. When they received you, some made room, or maybe they gave you half room to express and say, I've arrived. So everybody, your family of origin condition, did they make room for you to express yourself, to be? Did they set you free very early to exert, to say no, to say yes, to think, to comprehend? Because that's where you're supposed to practice the use of your voice, the use of your will, the exertion of yourself upon the earth. But if somebody suppressed you, they said, no room here. People who came before you were like, no room. They've already taken up the room, the oxygen. And you are like, right? They took up the space. They were empowered, right? You were belittled. And so people suppressed. Right? Meaning you kept your thoughts to yourself. You kept your ideas to yourself. You shrunk into the corner. And you were watching people do their thing. And they were dragging you all over, telling you who to be. Get up! You became a robot. of that system. Because if you exert your will, other people whose will is stronger than you, they crush. Because in this world, it's will for will, it's power for power. So the place that God designed for people to showcase their identity, their true order, their true self, family of origin. You start seeing, when you start talking to people, you start saying everybody's got a story. Birth order, who is the first, who is the second, who is middle, who is the last, and then people start sharing who is the favorite, who is the black. You know the labels, you know, based on that, you know. I don't even need to go. You know what was served, because in that place is also where you also have learned justice. What do I mean by that? When you feel wronged or somebody felt wronged by you, that was the place order where parents and those in position of responsible for bringing order, emotional regulation, they were supposed to play a role, okay, where justice was served. If this is the person, everybody tells their story. This is what happened. This is what happened. This person did me this. This person did me this. Okay, this. Okay, they were supposed to listen, to decide, and then to use godly wisdom, godly counsel, discernment, to tell a story and reconcile and bring it to peace. Constantly. It was in the family unit you ought to learn justice, what is fair, what is wrong, what is right, how the world God ordained is supposed to function. The family unit was supposed to be the place where you experience the world through that unit. What is right? What behavior is right? What behavior is wrong? When somebody goes off this way, the correction of self, the adjustments of self, right? So that you are equipped with the behavior that when you leave the family unit, the behavior you adopt will give you the reward in the natural world, meaning outside. Your family of origin was supposed to be a replica of God's kingdom on earth. And those who were ruling, who were leaders in that family unit, they were supposed to take up a form to be the voice of God in your life and to allow you to mature and learn what is true, what is not true, and to help you program your behavior, train up a child in the way the child should go. When the child is old, the child will not depart. The assignment was that your family of origin was supposed to be a representative of how, and prepare you, right? Representative of how things ought to be. And so when you go out into the world, you shouldn't be too surprised. It was supposed to help you mature in your decision making. It was supposed to help you build your confidence. It was supposed to help you build your voice. That was the practice zone. You say something, people will train you. Okay, this. They were supposed to help you develop your quantum and your identity into your higher self. As you were growing up, they were supposed to give you more power to exercise your will upon the earth. They were supposed to give you more strength, more courage, more love to develop as a full human being, so that when you show up, you become the representative of that family in the world. Yes? And so when you now go off to start your own family, the original order was you will be equipped with skills to pass on to the next generation. That was the order. That was the plan. but who got it all? But who got it all? So the development, God's plan, part of his original plan is the more you grow, the more power you get. The more you grow, the more power you get. God is not holding power from anybody. Why? Because your spirit, he already gave you all of himself. Just so you know, you already have the full essence. When you're a Christian, when you believe Jesus, when you have the Holy Spirit, listen, God did not keep any part of himself away from you. He gave you fullness of power. So it is there. Your bank account is there. However, there are rules. I've been teaching 5th dimension laws, 4th dimension laws, 3rd dimension laws. If you are breaking 3rd dimension laws, using your power to produce negative emotions and negative behaviors and negative conclusions and negative decisions and playing low in your low dimension self emotionally, you can be full grown age-wise, but inside you are not clear. You don't have clarity. You are like, who did it? Anxiety. All of that is because the quantum is processing thoughts you are not supposed to process. And so the body is like wonky. The vibration is like not steady, lacking confidence, lacking clarity. You're supposed to do inner work because this is growth. It's not overnight. That's why I tell my students, invest at least a year or two into your own maturity. If you stop it midway, that's it. Because what usually happens, and I've seen this, you start my program, 1 week, 2 weeks, you're like, oh, I feel better. Tony, I'll be right back. I've seen it. A few months later, people say, I'm full, I'm satisfied. Now I can focus, now I can do my things, now I'm free internally. I feel good now. And I say, hey, do you know how far this river runs deep? Do you know how deep this thing is? You've just cleared the first layer. You can think clearly, you are free. Do you know what will show up again? Go deeper, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. In fact, forever go deeper, because you become more iron mind. You never stop growing until you stop growing. So I've seen it. People come in 1 week, 2 weeks, when they hear the sound, when they hear the message, they're like, oh, because I'm speaking to your spiritual self, you're receiving power, and that power is producing great results. And it's like your car battery is being pumped and charged up. And when they receive that charge, they say, let me run my race. Toy, bye-bye. I'm like, people, come back. You've spent 40, 50 years running a different race. You don't know what is chasing you. You don't know what God is trying. This is just a tip. You don't know how deep the work and assignment is, so that you can receive all the power, not just tip surface power. You have to give it. Let God, let your spirit fully develop yourself. Because once you do this work, you see power flow. Your body will change. You feel power flow. Your body, listen, you receive, your body will have clarity. You see life differently. But I'm saying, what if that is just a cup of water? When you have a river, the well springs of life, would you receive? Right? Would you draw from the well springs of life? Why would you want to only come and fetch water once? You remember Jesus at the well? Never-ending flow. Your spirit has a never-ending flow. Because that's how you were designed. Never end. Every day, Paul. Every day, forever. You are supposed to develop a new self, a new way of being in the world. You read the news every day. You're supposed to be receiving power every day. In fact, by design, every time you sleep and wake up, that rest, part of the principle of the rest at night is, if you sleep with peace, listen, the mind God gave you is supposed to search and delete certain things. You can give instruction to your mind before you sleep. For those who have attended the class on 10 ways to maximize and use the power of your mind, the quantum, one of the ways is, before you sleep at night, you tell your mind what you want it to do while you're sleeping, because your mind doesn't sleep. What you want it to do to your body, what you want it to organize, what it wants you to do. It's a tool God gave you. Your spiritual self is the commanding officer. But if the spiritual self is lacking the knowledge, it will not receive the power to produce what the knowledge can produce. So one of it is the knowledge of yourself, the different sides of you, and how to use everything God has given you to produce results upon the earth. And so even your morning routine, night routine has to adjust, where you are commanding your day and you're commanding your night, and you have a 24/7 around the clock coverage of your being. But that's another training. But first, take your power back. So I'm going to open it to discussion, because again, in the room, emotional development room, I'm just trying to help people understand this is the only work. Like, people are striving, they are hustling. I'm like, listen, what is chasing you is a story in a quantum that has burdened you. Jesus said, come unto me, all you who are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Everybody needs to come back to rest, because the place of rest and peace is the place of power. I'm telling you. Rest for your soul. Like, you just need to unpack the stories and stories. Whatever story you are producing, whatever belief you have that is manifesting in your quantum and telling you run and run. What are you chasing? Where are you going to? Who is this person? Is this one? Those are quantum stories, generation, cultural. And you're like, you're supposed to take a step back and start saying, who manufactured the story? Because whoever manufactured the story is ruling the quantum. You're supposed to say, they want you to jump, they want you to change. You're supposed to be resisting. This is your place of resistance, refusing to participate in a story that is beneath your order, that is beneath you. There's understanding, there's inner standing, there's overstanding. Your higher self is also supposed to overstand, but you are understanding. Understanding is not enough. Standing under a story makes the story more powerful than you. Inner standing is your own relationship with that story. Is this your story? Whose story is this? Does it help you? Comparing that story to, you are going this way. The story is saying, go this way. Your own inner battle to say, no, yes, I agree, I don't agree. It's an inner standing. You have to inner stand yourself. How you stand internally, your own relationship with the story that has been poured into your quantum. You, your spiritual higher self, the quantum, your physical nature. You're supposed to be observing and say, what is that? Who did that? That's overstanding. That's when you get into your higher self and you're hearing some stories and you're like, that's not me. That's not my sound. I don't talk like that. God doesn't talk like that. But if you don't know yourself, you cannot, right, discern whose thoughts is that. If you don't know your own thoughts, if you don't know your own identity, if you don't know what you want, when what other people want for you, you cannot sweep it away and then impregnate your own, because you're supposed to impregnate your desires, right? Your desires are supposed to speak upon the earth. People are supposed to see your receipts like, this is what I've produced. So what are you producing? The first place is you're producing emotions. With your power, you produce emotions. And emotions is the dashboard of whether you are going in the right direction. It's the warning sign. If the desires you are manifesting is of God, because to bring you peace and order, anytime you emote anything otherwise, it's the bypass of power, meaning power landed in the natural, but you have decided to use it for something God will not sanction. You know what it does? It dumps it in your bloodstream. It's not going to give it to your central nervous system. God will not give you the power to produce things that will destroy you or destroy other people, because sin brings death to the cellular nature. So what usually happens is, as power is being released, okay, into the natural, when you are emoting, you say, I want to do something, because your cells need to be fueled in action. Your feelings, when you feel a certain way, feeling is designed to activate your central nervous system to do something. It's like you want to drive your car. Okay, you feel it, you start your car. When the system starts saying, where are you going? Like, what do you want to do? When the system God engineers reads the scripts that you have written, if that script does not follow God's order, you know what? The gas that you're supposed to fuel that car, God pours it outside. It's waste. And so that's why you get dysregulated. Inflammation. It pours it out to say, no, you are not going to, God is not going to fuel your car to go in the direction. It's a wrong direction. It's a misdirection. What the enemy wants you to do, God removes his hands from it. The system of God is not allowed to use God's power to produce 1. So it backs off. And so the central nervous system that's supposed to receive power to do good things, now the power just goes, right? Endocrine system starts misbehaving. Bam, bam, bam. It starts dropping hormones, cortisol. Start producing hormones it was not. It starts, right? Power has to be dumped. It's supposed to be released to the central nervous system. Central nervous system rejects it. Say, no, I'm not going to participate. Right? The system is saying, no, this car, you were not designed to be carrying, to be trying, where you are telling me to go. Your body is resisting. Let me tell you, the body knows the order of God. The cells are wired to power God's thoughts. Whenever you introduce a thought, it wasn't designed for. But if you tell Alexa what it wasn't wired for, Alexa will not answer you. That's what happens. Your body will not answer you if you try to weigh it down to go and do something God did not tell you to do. To start crying. That's the pain. It starts, right? The body, that's resistance. What you've not been programmed to do, you want to do. God didn't sanction it. You are getting your body into trouble. And the body knows. what it is allowed to do and what is not allowed to do, because the programming, the design of God wires electricity to go here and not go here. So whatever thoughts is trying to get you into trouble. What usually happens is in childhood, parents suit, like parents bring order. Stop crying. That's why I said that's the place of justice. You are supposed to learn how to bring tantrums. Oh, this person did me this person did me this. Parents were supposed to say, don't worry, it's okay, bring it to peace. And then settle the matter and everybody happy, right? And they go. That is a practice that was supposed to happen constantly in the family unit, all through that formative years. You're supposed to learn that you have a place to bring your thoughts. People will listen to your thoughts. They will wait, they will assess it, and they will teach you how to handle your thoughts better. And then also tell other people, treat this person better. Everybody was supposed to learn even how to relate with other human beings, because other people also carry the Spirit of God. You carry the Spirit of God. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. That was something we were supposed to practice in childhood. When somebody trespasses you, does to you something they were never supposed to do to you, or you to them, who brings order? Because God's law, right? Family unit that loves you both, we're supposed to teach you, you're not supposed to behave like that way to another human being. Oh, you too, don't do that next time. Learn. You need to learn. Because when you go out there, people who don't have this type of relationship with you, they deal with you as you are. They deal with you. You carry wrong behavior to your workplace. Only in the family unit is where love will teach you respect, honor for yourself and other people. Family unit was supposed to correct you, check you, teach you, guide you, so that when you step out there, the world will not be the one to do that. That was how it was supposed to design, like in love. Teach, in love, guide, in love, show respect, and teach individuals how to deal with one another in peace and live in peace and unity. But you know what? Some people just did hands off and said, control, they just, the mess. And so when people start saying narcissistic deal, all of the things in adulthood that people didn't deal with, somebody didn't train them, somebody didn't teach them, start seeing behaviors all over the place. Why? Foundational stuff. And then also, if it wasn't given to you, teenage into adulthood, you're supposed to observe yourself and snap out and say, check yourself. Right? You're then supposed to also take the responsibility. When they've done what they could do, then they're supposed to give you the tools of doing it for yourself. But when those tools were not given, and then people move through life, now they're still suppressed. Now they've carried, when justice was not served, things happened. You didn't have the language to reconcile. Now people cannot have friends anymore. People now are isolated. You don't know who to trust. Why? Because if you're going to be friends with people or marry anybody and you don't know how to express your thoughts, be your own representative, listen to their thoughts, and reconcile that. That was something people were supposed to learn in childhood. So when you now say, I want friend, suddenly something happens, this person says, because people don't have the skills to just say, hey, these are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Tell me your story. This is my story. Show me your angle. This is my angle. And be able to see both sides. And then say, you know what, it's okay. Maybe this was misunderstanding. I still love you. Let's still do life. Because people don't have those skills. Guess what? You should have known. I should have known. I don't like what you did. So we retreat to our own corner, complain, whine this, keep the story. Nobody brings it to peace. And then the church again don't have the tools. They just say, me, it's okay. Grow past it. No, you don't grow past emotions. What you do is you learn how to deal with emotions. Because emotions are kept. That's how memory is formed. That's how your identity is shaped. You become your emotions. Your emotions is you. There's no difference between you and your emotions. Your emotions is the manifestations of your thoughts and power. That's it. Everything else is just cells. Your emotion speaks is the voice of your spirit. Your emotions is the voice of your spirit or the spirit of somebody else or something else. And so when you experience emotions that you don't want, go back to the back end and say, who programmed you? That's the clue. If the emotion does not look like joy, happiness, because that's what I'm assuming you want joy, peace, happiness, right? Relaxation, rest. How do you want to enjoy life? Because that's what God gives you the power to produce, the life you desire. If you're not living the life you want for yourself, and you've not processed the life you want, you don't know your desires, you've not painted it in the quantum, you've not insisted that life give you that, you're not praying for that life, which life are you living? Whose thoughts is creating in your body? If it's not your thoughts, if it's not God's thoughts for your life, then who programmed you to function that way? That's the work. When it comes to emotional development, your own decision to rule your life with your own thoughts, not the thoughts of other people. Now, if other people's thoughts for you are good for you, thank you. Oh, you love me. Oh, I love me too. When people shower you loving thoughts, receive it, say yes. They give you nice, yes. If they give you something else, sorry, you speak wrong of me. You speak to an identity that doesn't exist in my quantum. You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know my God. You don't know me. You're supposed to understand that people who don't know you, they can dish you all kinds of stuff. The accuser of the brethren. So let's, I hope you understand this. This is the only matter that matters. There's nothing else. Because people too are still giving their quantum now to online. Energy from where? Conclusions of who? People are still prioritizing it. And so when they start drawing in from the matrix, they sleep at night. When you start seeing things that you're supposed to be re-ejecting, this is your field. The weeds, you're supposed to be weeding. So while men slept, while you were sleeping on the job of your spiritual self, on your spiritual assignment, when you were sleeping, when you didn't wake up to your assignment, when you didn't grow up, okay, while you were playing, while you were on scene, while you were just like stuck, not knowing whether to turn right or while that was happening, your field, your quantum field, your quantum identity, your quantum future, right? Who was playing, planting, right? It's like somebody playing with your computer and then introducing viruses and then watching you struggle, right? Because the body now is like, what is that? But if you don't know yourself, you don't know how to call yourself back. Self-control. Hey, bring your car back to mechanic. Bring yourself back to rest and peace. Who's going to do that? It is you. It's the job of your spiritual self to calm yourself down and say, it's okay, we will pray. It's okay. What is going? You're supposed to be, your spiritual self is giving the quantum, say, what's going on? When you start hearing noise, you are supposed to say, heaven, give me more help. Screwdriver, you repair. Healing. Something is misfiring. The electrical charge is like, triggers. Hey, I don't like how I sound. When you don't like how you're sounding upon the edge, you're like, come on. This is not the time to be running faster. But those thoughts will say, run, do more this, and then it's burning out. It's just weird. When you are done, the body will be like, you used your body wrong. The body will be like, hey, who is driving the car? Is it the boss or something else? Is it called Chodi Eddie? Who is driving this car? Who is in charge? Who is the boss here? Who is telling you to be running all over the place? Who? Is it you that is riding on your body and say, keep going, and you're not fueling it with positive energy? And like, hey, keep going, don't mind them. And you're edging people out, reckless driving upon the earth. God is just like, my child, I didn't send you on that errand. Don't go off the cliff. There's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof, the direction you are going, when all is said and done, it's not good. Come back home. Wake up. Come back. Just sit down. Jesus says his yoke is light. It's easy. When God gives you an assignment, you'll be graced for it because you will receive the power to produce what God wants you to produce. Even though you are working hard to do God's will, it will not wear you out. You know why it won't wear you out? God has ordained the power and resources you need to fulfill destiny when you decide you want to fulfill destiny. You won't run dry. Blessed is the one, right? Is that Psalm 1? You will be like a tree planted by the streams of water, whose leaves does not wither, bearing its fruit in season. The water, your roots will be well resourced. When you decide and say yes to God, realize that saying yes to God comes with resources. It comes with teachers. It comes with guide. It comes with people who can help you fulfill that. You are not here to be struggling. You're not here. But again, you have to move away from a wrong programming that tells you, hey, this. You have to move to God's program, because if you know what God asks for you, if you will come and quiet yourself, you realize that you're supposed to be a tree planted by the river. When you start growing up and you decide to be flourishing, you want to bear the fruits God has for you, even your trunk will be strong. Even the wind will not uproot you, because you are resourced. You are by the river, and the power of God will continue to flow. You will be calling on heaven, and heaven will be answering you and resourcing you and giving you more and more and more and more. Because also Bible talks about when that seed, when all is said and done, it will become a tree, right? That birds of the air will come and, like other people that need resources and refreshment and renewal. When you grow into your higher self, guess what? You're going to showcase God's glory upon the earth, and then you will be more useful, and other people will be attracted to the glory of God upon the earth. That's the design. But if your tree is like, everybody's like scarecrow. If your behavior is like, everybody's like, what was that? That's not God. That is not God. You weed out the things that are not God in your life. Okay? So we have pastors in the house. Pastor Mrs., I acknowledge you. Let's open it up for discussion. So I'm going to invite people up now. Share your thoughts. I'm so excited for the day. This is right up here. Okay, good. So let's start bringing. We have Pastor. Listen, this is going to be a dynamic discussion for sure. So everybody be open. Let everybody, like part of the exercises, listen. We'll learn, we'll adjust. And here's also the right you have. You have the right not to believe everything you hear. That's your spiritual right. Nobody should force feed anybody. Many people come from cultures where you were made to believe what is not true. And now people are struggling with what is not true because they accepted it. So one of the rights of your spiritual self is to resist. Because if you can't resist, man, what of other things you need to resist? So the practice of saying no is part of emotional development. Many people have not been given that right. So I'm inviting everybody up. Okay, who else? Yes. Everybody up. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Okay, I see Mr. Balogun. You just joined us. Is it 48 hours ago from Nigeria? Tesname, good, yeah. Okay, as you come up, I'll try and, okay, who came first? Okay, Mr. Balogun, go ahead. Speak your thoughts, and then we have Tesname, and then we have Ms. Chisholm. And so as people come up, I will let you speak in that order. Go ahead, please.
Because we are in Nigeria, good evening, ma.
Good evening.
And first of all, I'm grateful to God for this opportunity, and it's really nice to be here. And I want to say thank you also for the gifts. I actually went through the first phase of the PDF because there were 4, and one thing that struck me was, I mean, not based on what we are discussing now, but based on what I read in the first PDF, one thing that actually struck me was the fact that the person's the way a person perceives their relationship, the way a person deals with their relationship is actually tied to a person's business and a person's money. Because when the way you like made that connection between both, it was so like profound, because I never actually thought it was so, like, it was possible for it to be so that if a person is feeling disgruntled, maybe they are generous, like a person is actually generous towards other people in their relationship, it would actually suppress the way a person really would communicate in their day-to-day business. So like it's actually very, very
Profound.
I have to say that I have to
Okay,
thank
let
God
me
because
dive into it. This is why this discussion. If you come from a family of origin that you've been programmed not to trust anybody, who will trust you in life?
Yeah.
If you've been programmed by a culture that says don't talk to your neighbor means you this, you'll be running fear-based relationship. Everybody will like, what are you expecting in life? Are you expecting positivity or your programming? Your belief is an antenna to receive. You receive your beliefs. These are your desires. And if people are programmed to believe humans will not do them good, what would they be experiencing in life? Bad. What would they be attracted to? What will be coming? Who will they surround themselves with? People who will prove to you that you are right. You are the priest. Your quantum is where you exercise your priesthood and your queen or king, right? Your inheritance upon to dominate. The first thing you will fix is your quantum. But if you have been programmed to just consider that life is a certain way, that is the life you're going to experience. Meanwhile, somebody else has been programmed to say investors, sponsors, bankers, would sponsor their agenda upon the earth. Hear me?
Yeah.
Somebody else has received a programming that all you need in this life is an idea, and sell your idea. People who like your idea and your vision, they will come and meet you. I've sat before someone shared my vision. You come from a culture that says share nothing. You will live in that like I sat at coffee, I shared my vision. The person said, "Oh, do you have money to do this?" And I said, "Oh, this is what I've put together that I would. This how much I think it will cost." The person said, "Oh, that is not enough. I will give you 10K. I will add, put my name down that we will contribute $10,000. I've never shared this publicly. Put my name down that I will contribute this amount. We will sponsor you because that thing you're trying to do is big. I believe in what you're trying to do and the finance and thing you are showing me. Let me help you." Okay, this coffee was like, this person drove hours and hours to meet me, to engage with me, to hear my vision and ideas and see how can he help people fulfill it. And just put my logo, put my thing, but we will back you. Hey, we will back the mission God has given you financially with support and encouragement. You will fulfill purpose upon the earth. We are here to help you fulfill purpose. There are many things I don't say. I will just tell people, come and take class, come and learn. Hey, greatness, come and do this, come and do this. But because God said, teach them, it works. My principle works. There are people here ready to help you bet destiny. But if your culture says, keep quiet, don't talk to people. Those are the people who suffer most. And they will say they don't have anything. Lack. It lives in the zip code of suppressed people. People who don't speak. How would you market? How would you brand? You are going to open your mouth and say, buy my, come. When God has given you the wealth of heaven, Jesus was marketed. John the Baptist spent time telling everybody, the kingdom of God has arrived. The kingdom of God wants to arrive through everybody. The message you carry from heaven. That's why, if you've not, there's a resource, marketing like, right? I originally named it like marketing like Jesus. So some people were like, okay, marketing like Christian. There's a book in my school. I put scripture so that Christians will know God announced, pre-announced everything he wanted to do because he knows how we are designed. Humans forget. Humans every day, they look here, skip here. By night time, they don't even know what they use to do. God knows how your quantum is. If you don't take anything seriously, if you don't capture thoughts, if you don't take life seriously, if God gave you a word, you don't program it, you don't write it down, you don't believe it, you don't chew it, you don't digest it, how would you produce it? God knows how we are designed. So he will start announcing, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to save my people. I'm going to save my people. Then he said, teach your next generation so that this message will resound all over the earth. You see, the message of Jesus is still going to go around here. The whole earth is waiting for the manifestation of children of God. You are one of them. The world is waiting for you to land your message. What is inside you? What did God put inside you? that is vibrating, that you are carrying. But the enemy knows that. So he quickly from childhood will put people, hey, don't do this. Don't talk to anybody. Everything that you are supposed to be doing, it tells you the opposite. Yes. So people who get through life now, they'll look around them. They'll say, this is not what I banked on. But you didn't take your banking seriously, your spiritual power. You were spending it all over because people said this is the way. Sometimes, let me tell you something. Sometimes the shoe you want to buy, the house you want to buy right now, sometimes you're supposed to put it into destiny. You will see 10 cars. This is the power of multiplication in God's kingdom. You want to buy a car now. You want to buy a house now. I'm just speaking as God is leading. Sometimes God will say, take that money, invest it in destiny. You will have 10, you may be able to have 10 houses, 20, 30 years. You throw your energy and your resources into your future. It's not everything you spend today. There are some things I had to hold back on when I left corporate. And there are some things, guys, there is a promise of corporate that will tell you 401k, say for your, I looked at what was in there and I looked at what God was asking me to build. I say, if I arrive in that, this thing that this culture say, carry like this, I say, no, that's what I'm saying. This is chicken change. This is toothpick. I'm telling you, this is your spiritual order. People will see that money. It's big money. I saw it. I said, this one, let's throw it into destiny. Because the future I want to build is not the one the system said it has built for me. It is a decision, spiritual decision. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying how you would think when you're in your higher zone, when you're talking to God, the voice of God. You look at your bank account, your relationship with money. So you also see in that workbook, I think workbook 3 or 2, maybe I need to number them. In that room, emotional development, you have to heal your money relationship. This is one of the healing. Whatever you think about money, that's what money will respond to. You are the one calling money what it is. Whatever you call money to your life, whatever, right? I come from a family of accountants. Both of my parents were accountants. My father handled federal funds. So part of my own, because I'm giving you more context, because some of the things I'm saying or doing, people will say, like I spoke to someone, say, this thing is tough to do. I'm not saying it is easy, but I'm saying go back into the programming that made you believe it is that way. I'm saying part of another way of seeing money, the way you handle money. If you don't let money handle you, you have to be bigger than money for you to control and manage money. If money is bigger than you in your thoughts, in your quantum, it will rule. That's how this thing is designed, by frequency. How you vibrate with things is how things will give you back. So if you believe, money is this, money is that, chase. What you know what you just said? The smaller chases in the quantum, the smaller chases the bigger. It's like magnets. Okay, quantum is magnetic, it's electrically charged. It's your electric, it's when power comes out of the spiritual, it's charged up. When God blew his spirit into man woke up. Yeah, it is the spirit of God that makes you come alive. And part of the life is electrical charge, is quantum energy. It's the power source of God. When it eats you, you come alive. That's why your body is performing, is that the light, the power of God activates electrically. It's heavily charged, and that charge brings things together, and it's magnetic. If you look at science, the human blood has what percentage of iron? I think at least 20% of iron in your blood. Just so you understand the principle of magnetism. Your system magnetizes and holds each other. Relationships are held together by energy. Everything behind the physical is energetic, it's magnetic, just so you know. So if you're not able to hold, if you're not able to pull money to you, resources, people to you, they are the one pulling you. So whatever story is pulling you stronger than yours. Yeah, that's why you need power. You need power to stay in position, stay in authority, and rule from the place God says you should pull, but you have to grow up into it. And so when people don't grow in power enough to be a force upon the earth, to draw people in, you're going to draw money in, people, resources. When you stay in power, when you stay in your place. But with the moment you leave your place of dominion and you start chasing, even angels don't know where you are because you're supposed to have a zip code. People change identity, they move into their lower self, and they're like, no, higher self, higher power, higher magnetism, and this is where you attract. People are attracted to you, resources are attracted to you, draw everything in from your place, the place God has given you to rule upon the earth. When you appear in your higher self, you're not supposed to be looking for anything. All of the things are looking for you. Make sure they find you where God said you should stay. But the enemy will say, don't stay there, chase. And so when those resources are coming in, it meets people in a dysregulated place. I've seen it before. Sometimes God has say, do this for this person. You get close to them. What you find there is when Jesus say, if you don't find any person of peace in that zip code, leave. God can send somebody and say, deliver this. Or when Abraham is believing God, the day God will send an angel, what they've been believing for years, the angel that will say, by this time next year, your life will change. People have been believing for 40 years. The person that will tell you, by this time next year, Anna, you better be in the right place, so that the person whose words carry the power of God that will charge you up to say, no more opposition. No more opposition. This is destiny. It is done in the quantum. God has finished what he promised you. Go. A year from now, you will see it in third dimension. You need that kind of charge. If you are not charged up, you need a place that is charged up to declare what God has declared already. Because spiritual people can see what God has already spoken. When God speaks a word, great are the company of those who publish it. When God speaks a word and anoints David, everything starts moving. Everything starts moving. How long does it take God to create the earth? Everything. When God just says, do this, I want fish here, I want sun here, I want do. This is the quantum that designs, and then everything is done with the word of God. Everything is done with the word of God. And so you too is the same. But you have to believe before those things can be done, the picture painted out. And so as that picture is painting out, if it meets a counter programming, it will flood it. It will bring it to your consciousness. So many things are done unconsciously, subconsciously for you. You can feel, if you're sensitive, when you say intuition, the GPS of heaven is telling you, go here, don't go here. Your physical self, five nature, five, right? Taste, touch, sound, sight, smell, right? You might be saying things. You know, Jesus saw a tree. It looks good. It got closer. It blew. This tree should not exist anymore. Done. Relationship that should not exist anymore. You're supposed to blow it away from your life and just leave it alone and walk away. People who promise you this, promise you this. 10 years later, 10 years later, nothing. But they promised. But God is the one that can promise. He will tell you intuitively, should you stay or should you go? That's why, even no matter what is happening in third dimension, your spiritual self will say, this was from the enemy. Blow it away. Or be patient. Quantum speaks. It vibrates in frequency. But if you want to learn what is being spoken in that world, you will bring your mind to stillness, to quietness. And when you are quiet, you will hear everything because the frequency is broadcasting channels from heaven or channels upon the earth. Or that's why God will say, think of things above, not things beneath. But if people have been programmed by culture or society, that's what they are going to see. Where your head is, where your focus is, that's what you are producing. That is the sound that comes out of people. Out of the abundance of the heart, they know how to speak. Whenever anybody is speaking, they're speaking of what is enriched and abundant in their hearts. That's the design. And so better let heaven be abundant in your heart so that you can be speaking upon your life, upon your quantum, what heaven is saying. That's how you lift yourself out of is you start repeating God's word. God's word. You start replacing all the frequency of nonsense. That people have been programmed to. Even some prayers is misprogrammed. People are also using their words. Let me just leave that one alone, because that's another, it's just, that is another word entirely. When people don't understand the power of their words, the power of their thoughts, some people will stay on pulpit and say, pray this. You don't know you are praying into your own quantum, into your own life. You think, many people think they are talking about anybody. Trust me. Trust me. What you don't want to say said about you, never say it about anybody. Leave everybody unto their God. At the higher order, not the lower dimension, at the higher order, you will understand that God is in every human. Whether they are confused, whether they've been lied to by the enemy, whether they've yielded themselves to whatever thing, no matter what they are doing, God is still in them. Their own quantum could be, hey, ooh, and then they are misbehaving. You better just, even the bull that carried, listen to me, guys. God sent a bull. They put the ark. Some of you are trying to correct people you shouldn't correct. Some of you, Jesus said, forgive us our trespasses as we are forgiven those who trespass against us. Part of one of the things we must learn is how to even engage with other humans that carry God. No matter what we see them doing, no judging. Jesus didn't come to judge, he came to save. So how to even engage with something that seems wonky? The person that wants to study the wonkiness, you think you are powerful enough to be touching, and that's part of some of the things people have gotten into trouble spiritually. So part of even emotional healing is you ask for forgiveness, you will forgive other people. It's part of that, because if a story, because the quantum has God's programming, has all kinds of programming, what people have said, the blood of Jesus that speaks better things than the blood of, is because there are still things spoken generationally that is still vibrating in the quantum. If you fall in, even Cain had a blessing, a protection layer. Everything God has spoken from the beginning of the earth till now is still alive in the quantum. That's why Jesus had to come, and his life became a story, and his story is uploaded in the quantum. That means you can draw on. When you believe God, you are vibrating Jesus' desire for your life. You can download from the quantum thoughts of heaven, and you can apply it over you have a right to say what Jesus said about you and program your life with that word and put a covering. When you did do something to somebody else and the person is like this, you can say, Jesus, forgive me. Jesus has forgiven me. Please forgive me. Blah, blah, and then you keep moving on. Because when people don't do that, you start seeing they're vibrating at a frequency. The law of the Spirit of life, Christ Jesus, is what you're supposed to program your quantum with, because there's another law still ruling in the quantum. If you do this, you get that. If you do this, you get that. When you want to escape, when God wants you to escape, you say, declare what Jesus has. Jesus has died for your sins, died for your error, so you are free to go. Nothing can hold you back. But if you don't apply that word into your quantum, some people are still living based on the consequences of what they did or their parents did or grandparents did, because your DNA, the DNA recognizes you are no different. You're a copy. I will watch what God wants me to say here, because it gets deeper. When you showed up here, your body, right? Bible talks about Jesus, a body you have prepared for me. Jesus did not have to deal with Joseph's stuff. You see? Jesus did not have to deal with what was running in Joseph's lineage. He didn't have to deal with it. He had an agenda, he had a mission, save the whole earth. So, but his own assignment was big enough. Joseph, take care of your own assignment. And then when I'm done, you can then use the name of Jesus to deal with what's right. So part of also emotional development at a very advanced level is also people understand you may have inherited the frequency that carries the encoding and the story of what happened before you were here, your lineage. And so many people may be born into a body, right? Your spirit is given a body, parents, this lineage. And so the DNA that is received may already be encoded with vibration, because your features, right? Hopefully people understand that you are designed to look like the people who gave you body physically. Your physical form is pre-programmed by the DNAs. And not just their features, their vibrational frequency is also pre-programmed, because that's their own power that they pour into the next. Everybody pours their power, because your frequency is your power to produce results. So you inherit the power of your parents. However, there is power from God's kingdom. There's power that is still 111. that God, right? If people haven't done this work, if your parents didn't do this work to set themselves free from 111, they may be Christians, but you everything is dumped because it doesn't pick. DNA doesn't say, oh, this is what you are the one. When you now inherit the body, your spiritual self is supposed to then say, what did you pick up? And then you have the power to exercise your will to now reshape your identity the way you want it to be. That is your own power. The exercise of your own power to be on, to know clearly that sound, you remember it. That's how daddy used to sound, mommy used to sound. All the observations of this, that is in, you are supposed to do a sort, right? A careful rewiring of your quantum. Take what you want, take, right? You're supposed to sort, right? Say thank you, appreciate, but then say, you don't want to sound that way. You don't want to talk that way. You don't want to behave that way. That's your power of choice, right? The will and the choice you can make to resist what's already there. It's already there. And many people, let me also share this and then we'll talk more. Many people may not realize those things are there does not mean the door opens. Some of it are sequenced. Some of it has been programmed to open and activate at certain points of your life. Right? I'll make it funny. Let's just use this funny. You saw your dad, maybe 50, 40, he went bald. When you observed him going bald, you were 16, 17, you were laughing. Your hair was still teenager was like, you are laughing that your hair is all over, but you saw somebody bald. Wait a minute. You cross over into that age and that zone. And you see if that thing. When you look in the mirror, if the face staring back at you is not the same face you saw when you were 16. He's just waiting for you to arrive at that point. So many people are carrying things. Sometimes it's midlife, the pressure of midlife. Things start. Now you have to say, wait a minute, where did that come from? You've been carrying it around. He just waits. He just waits. He just waits for enough pressure, right? But God designed it. Just so you know, God designed it so that you will not wander through life. That as you do life, you already have pre-programs, apps installed. However, the enemy knows. So as the positive starts helping you, right? The confidence of your father, their belief in you, the positive, as it starts growing, expanding, guess what happens? While men slept, God said, let everything grow. Let this grow, let it grow. So that when you now get to midlife, when they all show their fullness and they grow finish, you will have to make choices. You will have to make choices if you go down that route or you go up this route. Some people make choices, they rise up with anger and they choose that identity for the rest of their life. When they don't deal with it, because God wants you to see what is inside you. But usually those things take time to grow. Behaviors take time to grow. They mature slowly. First it's like a lion, but you start out as a cub. The sound of the lion is in the cub. Just wait, let the cub grow up. You see? Let the lion, you can see the lion respect, like, oh, okay. Cub is like, meow. Many of those things spot, they start meowing, playfully. They are playing with you. Yeah, 5 years. When people fully grow up, and you now see the fullness of those things, you might shock yourself, you might surprise yourself, but I'm saying calm down. Emotional development. Grow up, get a grip, get a handle, the power of God, resist, and push those things out so that your next phase of life is more beautiful and loving. Thank you. So, Tasnim, you came in next, and then Miss Chisholm. Please, go on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful. I mean, like I said, this is right up my alley. It's like you're telling my life story. I don't even know how to say it other than that. It's someone who has just 2 months ago,
Mm.
had a panic attack, and now it's just rising, you know, and it's surprising my own self. I've been able to like slow down time even and just feel a lot more relaxed. And I appreciate what you said about coming back, because I think a big part of it is like as you mature and grow, you need that community so that you're not pulled back into your limiting beliefs. And hearing you echo that voice that's deep within me is just sending that reassurance, that positivity, having that beehive of a community of like-minded people who have that soul yearning, you know, sensation of their ability to do more than what they have done, and have you be the mentor to just speak on that. And from all angles, I truly, truly appreciate your work, and just know that for me personally, I'm tuning in every opportunity that I get, because it just affirms for me so many things. I studied medicine. I've been in healthcare my entire life. My own body has been misaligned with an oversympathetic drive. I actually have, it's not visible to the eye, but muscles that are contracted on the entire left side of my body that, you know, joint pain, whatever you want to think, sciatica, you know. And for me, I never thought they were like bad enough to go see a physician. But just in my own relaxation now, after coming across you and just doing my own research and just sitting down with God, I've been able to bring my body to somewhat more of an alignment that it has been as far as I can remember. So again, thank you. And this is just merely through laying on the grass, getting in touch with nature, thinking in my head, pointing to which muscle group that I want to work on, doing a focused intention, and just releasing that tension that's been for years.
So thank you for your vulnerability, and I'm sure it's going to help and deliver some people. So here's I want to speak to the one you talked about specifically, because everything needs to be addressed. There are specific things that must be addressed. So remember I said things are there, but they don't get activated. They're there. Vibrations are there. However, part of also the quantum are time markers. You know, this is what control like puberty, menopause, perimenopause, right? Hormonal flow, what decides when it happens, what decides, but you're not there are many things you're not in control of in the quantum. It's part of a programming that is inherited. Okay, response, all right. The autonomic nervous system, right? There's some messages, they've been packaged. There are packets of information that only opens when something triggers and opens the door. Okay, is everybody following me? So this is the awareness people need to know, is that nature has a story for you. For example, if you're a woman or a man, testosterone level, when you go to them, they're checking, okay, level cortisol. Nature is orchestrating certain things. There are certain things you were not unconsciously done for you. When you sleep at night, there are many things programmed to do, to clean, to renew, to rejuvenate, to assess the state of your cells. Which cells is healthy, which cells is not, what is going on biologically. Many of those things, you know, it's like your car. God wired it. Okay? Now, behavior can rewire. That's why we talk about lifestyle diseases. Modern life is rewiring human nature. The way we are living and doing life today, the choices we're making, the environment in which we are put to live, because living organisms, okay, are impacted by their environment. Safety, calmness, relaxation, peace, all like the environment in which a cell lives in has biological implication of the state and health of that cell. That's what we have to understand. That modern living has thrown people off. In fact, there were some things I was processing this morning. Maybe some of the things God downloads, I'm like, is it for people? Is it for me? Is it for, right? part of it is, I'll say it. So let me just say that maybe God, I won't say maybe, God is saying there's a divine feminine state of being, feminine power. God in his divine feminine state, God in his divine masculine state. Because remember, we are expressing God in us to the world in the third dimension. God gave us a spirit for us to choose his personality, his thoughts that we want to inherit, we want to give birth to in the natural realm. So your physicality, your behavior is supposed to be a representation of the thoughts of God. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. Like, this is God saying, this is who I am. However, God also did something. He built Adam, he built man a certain way to express his masculine nature, his strength, his power at a certain nature. Okay? Out of Adam, right, Bible scholars, he then created Eve to also experience his full feminine nature, care, love, order. And he gave to man what he wants to give to man. He gave to woman what he wants, right? There's some energetic vibration unique to women. There are some energetic states for masculine. God pre-programmed, not you. This is not the decision of man. I said God's plan, God's playbook, his own nature. He puts his nature. He said it's going to come in two versions. It's like a car manufacturer, version 1, version 2. Version 1, I'm going to impregnate it with this power, vibrate this way, be respected this way, stand this way upon the earth. Bam. Your body will look this way. Your stature will look this way. You will physically represent and take on a vibration. If the feminine higher version of me, my nature, my care, my love, how I care for, you see, he gave Adam, tend the garden. Here is an helper to help you. No matter what man is talking about today, she, that stuff is not in heaven. I'm telling you, heaven stuff you must download into your life. If you want to be a feminine in the order of God, you will respect the feminine vibration. The way we sound, the way we hold space, the way we heal. Healing is in the hand of the feminine. You see, healing, emotional regulation of a household, even emotional regulation of a man. I'm telling you, the queen holds a space, the divine nature of God, when it is expressed in your feminine form. How people are supposed to experience God in the feminine form, how babies, how humans, how life is supposed to experience the femininity of God. How you touch people, how you carry your baby, how you nurse, how people feel, the health of the society. Who is vibrating love? Who knows love? Who knows tenderness? Who feels healthy? Who feels warmth? Who feels held? Who feels known, seen? Who does that? Feminine. It is the duty of a woman to nurture the next generation into emotional well-being, well-rounded, right? The voice of a woman in the life of a child is very powerful to making the child feel happy, fully fed, fully taken care of, ready to go out into the world, including the man too, by the way. But if that woman has been thrown off, the woman is dysregulated. The woman that is supposed to hold a space where people go out and come in and they feel love, must, right, put back in motion. You go out there, you're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But when you come home, the rest of God, the feminine side of God that calls us into a place of peace and rest, is feminine. Men will just be bah, bah, bah. Feminine will say, my child, it's okay. The soothing nature of a woman, calming voice, bringing rest to the world, right? The rhythm of rest, right? The bosom of a woman. Even men enjoy it. just put that, right? Every man needs it. But when the woman goes off, even the man, where would he put his head? Somebody to just say, it's okay. I'm telling you for real. That's why I said I thought it was for me, but I just put it out there. But when God takes you into the divine feminine, you are nurturing not just yourself, you're nurturing families, you're nurturing community, and you are bringing calmness and peace and a rhythm, right? The feminine rhythm is what society is built on. You see, no matter who goes out and say, I can fight, I can do, when the man comes home, or when everybody, children come home, you too, you come home. Which home are you coming to? The vibration of the home. Is it masculine? Ba, boo, be. Everybody, you come home, you are not rested. Everybody's looking for rest. Everybody's looking for calm. Everybody's just looking for where can you go to just sleep and wake up happy. But if the women are dysregulated, they've taken on an identity, they are bag, right? They are doing everything everywhere. Part of the correction process is when you start hearing certain things go off in your body. The feminine is saying, you've gone off the cliff. The system starts misfiring because the feminine body was not supposed to be carrying certain responsibility. You know, responsibility is what you're supposed to respond to. Responsibility. What you respond to with ability. If you take up something you cannot respond to with ability, meaning the ability was not given to a woman to do certain things, but the woman is trying to do what God did not send the woman to do, what will happen? Crossfire. You will shock yourself. When a house, the electrical charge is misfiring, you shock you. It's literally electrical charge. It's misfiring. It's when electrical system carry more than it was designed to carry. You know, circuit breaker. You put an iron, you put stove, you put this, you put that, you put that. Just because the socket is there doesn't mean you should be plugging everything at the same time. When humans start plugging, I can do this, I will do that, I will do circuit to say this house was wired for peace, this house was wired for joy, this house was wired for rest and peace. You are running a race. There's no shock absorber behind this thing. So guess what happens? The system starts unplugging things. That's one of the things. The system at night will start unplugging, say, no, you can't keep doing that. If you are not consciously choosing to make the right decisions for your life, and you think you can do everything, you're trying to do everything, including things you don't have ability to, listen, the system that is supposed to rescue you, you see, part of the warning signal is your dashboard, your emotions. When you're driving your car, just because you can keep pressing accelerator doesn't mean you have enough gas tank to run that race. But the gas will tell you yellow. It won't just stop the car. It gives you, there are some cars that will even tell you in 2 miles, the gas is enough for 12 miles. At this pace you are running. But it will give you yellow and then warn you and say, whether you like it or not, 12 miles from now, if you don't make a decision to go and refuel, if you don't make a decision to pull yourself into a place of rest, because when the car starts saying fuel me, or people don't fuel themselves, they don't fuel themselves with joy, with peace, they don't have friends, they don't have support system, they don't talk to anybody, they are isolated, they are strained, they are this. Okay, keep doing that. You aren't designed to. At some point, the system will say, the support system you need to do what it is you are doing, slow down enough to go and build it. You're running low on gas. It's a warning system. But the enemy has planted those things for a long time. It's just waiting. It's just waiting for somebody to be foolish enough not to listen to their body. He's just waiting. Ignorance is banking on people not seeking knowledge. He is banking that you will not be wise enough. He is banking because he has studied humans, that the pride and arrogance of humans make them not seek help. The society has programmed people not to talk about their issues, not to seek help, not to be honest, not to be authentic. He has programmed them, go to church, praise God, come back home and do your own stuff. Don't tell anybody. If they say, how are you doing? Just say yes. But help is everywhere. But he's banking that people will not open their mouth. He's banking that people won't step out of their house and ask for it. He's even banking they will make the investment to go and test the state of their right? Or that they won't pray. Because whatever you believe is what you are, right? If you believe in divine healing, invest in divine healing. You will be on your knees praying for divine healing. Do you understand? If you're not going to go seek, then you are still going to seek help. If it's God's help, you will seek. If it is man's help, you seek. You still have if it is prayer, you will pray. You do 21, you do 40, you still ask for help out of that condition. But people who don't pray and don't seek natural help, and enemy he banks on that so much. Or over spiritual people who don't understand the quantum, they'll be fighting. In fact, some of them will press more accelerator when the warning sign is take care of your this, take care of this. No, God has this. If God hasn't spoken a word, don't say this. If you don't be now, there's a principle. You believe God's word, it will manifest. But the circle, how God will heal you, listen for it. Just so you know, this approach for me is very therapeutic. This because I'm speaking into, right, as I'm sharing, I'm being blessed. Just so you know, there's a process God put in place when you sow in others, when you scatter your bread. I cannot be serving God's kingdom and God's people. I'm receiving. That's why I tell people, you will do good. You are here to do good. Go and find your own good. Whether it is serving other, you will serve. We are here to serve. Those who want to receive, but they are not. The flow of energy from you out into the world and from the world. Anybody that doesn't open up, the same channel that allows you to give is the one that allows you to receive. So when people don't give because they close up, when receiving is coming, it means, right, they're knocking on God. Because Jesus said, I stand at the door and knock at the door. If any man hears my voice and opens the door, then I will come in. World, whenever God sends answered prayer, the answer will say, come. Is anybody home? Come. Are you ready for your answer? Come. Do you want to sign to receive that? I've delivered the results. When nobody answers, they're too busy. They're too here. They're here. Parable of the sower. Here. Cares. It's not that God doesn't love us. That's the message. It's not that God doesn't love us. He loves us so much. But we have to steady ourselves. We have to be in a place, in an heart posture that is humble and open to the help God has for us. That's nature. And so those who get to that point of needing help, but they don't seek help, who knows what happens? Because who knows what? Because people have been programmed not to seek help. People have been programmed to be arrogant. People have been programmed to pride. But they said, what goes before pride, Abby? Right? What is hidden from the eyes of proud people? They don't know. They are not allowed to see. Humility is dodge. Humility is how you dodge. Humility is how you say escape. Humility is the escape route in spiritual realm. When you see something, dodge. Humility is what makes you swerve your car away from recklessness. But the person who drives his car and says nothing, Jesus, whatever bumps you, humility is sometimes when God says, leave that place, leave that church, leave the humility will say, thank you. But some people will say, what? I will finish what is, and then they will not start spending emotional currency, fighting battles that is not theirs. Jesus came, he defeated. He didn't ask you to fight certain things. Don't make your full-time job fighting what God has already defeated. That's part of in these Christian circles, there's some messages God is saying, hey, that thing is not your assignment. Your assignment is to make sure it doesn't stop you from fulfilling destiny. So it's to resist. But today, people have they've abandoned purpose, abandoned the assignment, abandoned the work God gave them. Then they turned the work and assignment into chasing something. Where are you chasing it to? It's going nowhere. God has already decided where those things are. Your job is to say, face destiny and part ways. It's for the Red Sea to part before you. That's your assignment. And then what is chasing you, God will take care of. Your assignment is to face your journey. Whew, I said a lot there. Let's keep going. Anybody that wants, I see, Ademola, you're saying you want to speak. You got disconnected. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I think, do you want me to, okay, let me bring you back up. Okay. So that's, Sheila, let me bring you back up. Okay. Thank you. Miss Chisholm, over to you. Thank you, everybody. Like, if there's something you want me to cover, just type it, say it. I'm just responding to, when people speak, I'll just try to help other people get more context. That's just what I'm trying to do now. Miss Chisholm, howdy.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and good evening to for Ademola, who is back in Nigeria. So I will preface my journey it's been a journey for me, and when I encountered you on Coach Tony, you struck something within, and ever since then, it's been just deeper and deeper, and the main thing for me is just what you're sharing right here, because I've grown in age, obviously. However, I can tell for myself within that emotional aspect is the area that I have not grown at all. And I could like, okay, why am I still acting and feeling this way? And I could tell, because I know myself well enough, that there's a separation between the physical age and how I feel. And I could sense that there's that calling to do and be more, but not having the power and the resource to become that, which you already know is right there within you, but it's just buried deep within, with layers and layers of stuff. And you now do life, and then you are in a relationship, and then you know that it's not even 100% of you because you don't even have that yourself. So this is really the main crux of the matter for me, is just that emotional growth, and that's what I've been working on for the past 2-3 years. And I started with business, but I know this is beyond business because I can't even do business when I've not even figured out me first. So once this is done, and you've given the tools, so I'm really grateful for that. The tools to really dig deep and then rewire the quantum, because I have this analogy where you have an overgrown field because it's been abandoned, and maybe because it's one, ignorance, and now two, not knowing what to do, and having a well curated field where you go to the queens, where you go to the gardens, and you can see how that garden is tended with so much love, care, and attention, and you can see that, and you know that, and when you're in the presence of people who have really done this work, you can tell. So it's a journey, and sometimes I get a little, where do I even begin? Like, you see where you can be, and you see the work that is right in front of you, and you're like, oh goodness, where do you even start from? But it's just doing it, and for me, I'm just saying to myself, just as we got to a point where everything is overgrown with weeds, it's just taking it little by little, section by section, and just praying to God, like, hey, help me. And with the tools that you have, which I've been using on the Chat GPT, that has been very helpful, because within you could ask questions and to pull up lots of routines and therapies and affirmations that I've been using to ground myself in reality, and not just reality, but just getting back to that behind the scene work, because I know for a fact that everything I see as in the physicality is just, that's not the main thing. The main stuff is the one that I cannot see, the things that I'm seeing, and that's where I come from. And because I felt that nobody really understands or can actually think or speak like I do, then I just closed off that aspect of myself and just then shared just the exterior. But the main juicy part is what is behind, and being vulnerable and open to really speak your truth and show your truth and be yourself, which I feel that most people can't actually handle. So You just,
You know, wow. So, wow. One thing, let me just say this. If you find on this journey, there's some tears, there's some pain, there's some struggles that they could be the tears of your childhood that you were not allowed to express. Please, this is quite, you know, because people think time is linear, like time is like this. People think that 20 years ago, 30 years ago is far away from today. You see, this is also part of something we have to shift. It's a program you have to shift, because the concept of time in the natural world, in the third dimension, is different from time in the quantum or time in the spiritual. Spiritual, there's no time. You exist forever. The time you're going to spend on earth, God has designed that. Right? Now, how time is measured in the third dimension is psychological. It's introduced psychologically into your mind, but it's not in your spirit. Please help me. I want to unpack some advanced things here. Your mind is trained on how the physical world works so that it can connect the physical to the spiritual. You are an energy, like your spirit is light form from God, but when power is released, it produces energy, and energy gives you the ability to do work. The work you are here to do on earth, you are energetically charged to influence the quantum layer. That's the power of God. The power of God gives you permission to do work, to do things. It gives your body, it's like the battery in a car. You remove the battery, you are loaded with battery power to do things, to go where you want to go, to say things, to be. That is what is given to the spiritual you. Your spiritual self is packed with power and packed with the tools to use power to produce results on earth. That's the quantum. However, you see that journey to learn, the journey of learning how to produce with intentionality, how to produce deliberately, how to produce carefully, how to produce kindly, how to produce lovingly, tenderly, good, right? Generously. That personality of God that we need to develop. It is the assignment of man to take on the image of God. That's the will. You're to love God enough, then you choose God, then you become like God's representative upon the earth. When you face God, it's like a mom, when a child beholds the mother, when a child beholds the father, who do you become? The person you behold. That's your relationship with God. The more you stay at God, the more time, right? Jesus said, out of me, you can produce it nothing. What can you produce out of Jesus? But when you spend more time with him, what will he give you? He will give you his thoughts, his expectations, his care. He will tell you who you are. That's what you will receive. You will receive your identity when you face God, when you spend more time with God. And people who are missing identity is because you get identity from God. Just like your parents told you your name, directed you. The spiritual identity you take on is with the knowledge of God, your divine nature. That's where you're going to receive all of these things. You can be on earth watching other people do their own thing and learn from, because part of also learning is learning how other people are doing their things, right? So God can send you to go and learn, right? Paul was behaving this way for his conversion. The new Paul now needs a new identity, but new identity comes with new understanding, new beliefs, right? New awakening to new realities, ascending beyond, right, lies. The truth will set you free from lies. It will set you free from limitations. Wherever those limitations come from, DNA, nature, nurture, that's fine. But make sure you finish your business with that. That's what I'm saying. Finish your business with the unfinished business of your past is still an open book in the quantum. Your conclusions, your decisions, oh, this happened, because people think that past is the past. In the quantum, your book is still open. The tab is still open. It's like your computer, the tab is, nothing closes the tab. You are the one to close your tab and say, I'm done. I'm done with this behavior. Because even though I'm speaking it this way, please realize God designed it for goodness. The programming of the quantum is designed for you to desire something, right? And enjoy what you desire. Right? Like ask your daddy, I want shoe. Quantum will say, daddy is asked for shoe. Heaven send shoe. How is shoe produced? Where is the shoe? How will the shoe get to this person? You are asked, your spiritual self asks for things on behalf of your physical self in the quantum. That's your platform for designing. Hey, this is what we want. We want a car, we want this. The life you want your physical self, your physical nature to experience and live in. Your spiritual self will say, heaven, there's a blueprint for it in heaven. This is how you download the blueprint. The life God has for you, you're supposed to go and collect it and download it and say, I like this. I like that. Let's get to work. And your job is now to produce the seed, the blueprint. It's like the architect is in heaven. God will architect your life, give you the drawing so that you are not lost. He will tell you this. He might not even, here's also what God does. He might not tell you the full blueprint because there are other things in the quantum staring at your quantum. If they see the entire picture, they will now know where to go. And so sometimes God will just say, trust me, obey me. I'll tell you what to do today. I'll tell you what to do tomorrow. I won't tell you next year, because if the moment I tell you, something will be waiting. So you find out that obeying God is part of the secret of the quantum. Because once something is in the quantum, spiritual people know what's in the quantum. Intuition, you're supposed to know what is in your quantum. Those are your thoughts. Those are the things you are feeling. And you're like, The stories you are hearing is because they're about to enter your quantum, or they are swimming around you. But if you're not paying attention to thoughts, and you're not saying these thoughts, resist this one, accept this one. If you're not doing this, your spiritual assignment is to watch over that world. But guess what? Other things, other people, other realms, spiritual, they are watching over quantum. Just so you know, the day you were born, when Moses was born, when Jesus was born, people knew. Pharaoh knew. The rulers that have advisors that watches over the quantum. You cannot be a ruler without spiritual people watching what is going on in the quantum. You'll be caught by surprise. Let me give you an example in modern life. Ukraine, something is building next door. Movement. People are planning to take you out. The people who have satellite space, US, who is watching movements in the quantum, building up. Hey, they send memo to Ukraine. You are no, this is happening next door to you. You are not building up enough capacity and strength for what? Ukraine was like, no, they can't do it. They can't do it. USA, come and visit us. We will give you all the diagram. We've been watching movements around you. Beef yourself. Pull yourself together. Do this. Ukraine was like, The first building in the quantum against neighbor. I'm just giving you example. How many years later? Maybe if they read the quantum, maybe, prayer would have been different. Negotiations would have been different from the beginning. Maybe the stand would have been different, because sometimes pride will make people fight what God is saying. This is not your battle. Humble yourself. I'm just saying. Please, I'm just using this as an example to say God will say, close the door. Humble yourself. You are not big enough to be. Even Jesus, God sent a message and said, Joseph, Mary, carry Jesus. Don't be found in a corner. Don't be found wasting spiritual currency, fighting things. That's not your assignment. Leave. Calm down. Cool. So you see that wisdom is what God will offer you. And those who don't have wisdom, there's some, I'm just saying, there are some situations where God will say, I've given you everything you need. Go. But there's sometimes David will say, should I? Because he has learned a lesson. You checking your quantum. Victory, if you step in, yes, victory is given to you in quantum. You go full steam ahead. Sometimes God will say, carry Jesus, you and your destiny. Things are bombarding you spiritually, and you're still playing, like, leave that place. But again, if people are using their mind, they say, yeah, but these people love you, but they are nice, but this is a church, but this is this. You are downloading and making yourself accessible. That's how quantum, there's nobody can say yes. Like, quantum is just a picture and a story. Okay, energized, wanting to be fulfilled. And God has stories for you. And trust me, other stories exist. Your full-time spiritual assignment is to have your own story in place. And so one of the things that happens is that the stories of your child would persist until you override it. Train up a child in the way the child should go. When the child is old, the child will not depart. You were not designed to be departing from the stories written for your life. You're not supposed to outgrow those stories by design, because God trusted you into the hands of your parents, your childhood, whatever. But we all know man is man. Man is man. Unintended consequence. Nobody does this thing by right. One of the things God has been teaching me on is everybody does the best they know. Everybody's doing their best, because if you know better, the moment you are enlightened, everybody will do better. So everybody's doing to the level of their understanding. So nobody's to be judged. That's why there is no that's why you're not supposed to judge people. It's not your job to judge people, because you don't just judge. That's a warning. Don't judge people. However, you can seek, I'll use a phrase, to train people, to enlighten people, to talk to people in a gentle way where they consider new ways of thinking. And if they like what they are hearing and it sounds useful, then that person takes it in energetically and use it, digest it. Like you serve the food, but you don't force anybody the food. Because when people force the food, that's control. And that's one of the things that creates indigestion in the quantum. So scientifically now, let me bridge these two things. Scientifically, there's something they call rest and digest. Okay? When information is given to you, you're processing information, you're experiencing, right? The design of God is you're supposed to, it's like if somebody sends you a letter, you're supposed to find a gentle place, open it, and decide, do you want to trash it, right? Just the same, just think about when mail comes to your house. You don't just immediately think everything is useful. In fact, some mail, you leave it out. Some things you don't even bring into your house, because you already be like, you just raise that flag, you'll be like, it's not mine. If it is misaddressed, you say, not in my house. It's not mine. I'm not taking it into my house. Mailman, come and carry your quantum, carry yours. This is not my stuff, right? And even the one you now bring in, you still sort. Spiritual sorting. And then there's a trash can in the quantum. The things you resist have no rights to show up in your physical realm. That's the door to the physical. Many people think it's just no. The door to the physical is the moment the story is told. The story you say yes to. When you start seeing it, that's how it is. When you say yes to it, they say yes. Now you've given them rights to show up physically, and then people will now be fighting physical battles they could have resisted in the quantum or spiritually. It's real. Let me just put that, like, Just pay attention to your quantum. But I'm saying people are not designed to unravel the programming of their past. You were supposed to be programmed well by wise people. However, they had their own stuff. They too were programmed to program people a certain way by culture, by society. They were given a script with culture. Where did the culture come from? That's why you need a new way of being and thinking and a new language, because many people also, the sound of the culture is very, very, very abrasive. Banging, right? Certain cultures are not gentle. They're not kind, right? It's cultural language. Language is what gives life meaning. It's what programs your energy. And language has a force. And so the force of your language, if it is coming from a realm to take you down, when you hear what that language is, your body will be like, ew. That's the reactivity. You react to love elderly. You react to anything that doesn't sound like the voice of God or the plan of God for a man. Is too heavy. And so all of the stuff that people people are saying you should be, but you know in your spirit is not true, meaning they make you react negatively. Things people do to you or you are doing, but you know this doesn't feel good. That's the assignment. Is God is saying, deal with that. Tell me, I'll teach you how to deal with that. But you have to decide to deal with that, because those are things weighing people down. And these are the things that have consequences, negative consequences. And part of when God wants to rescue the people he loves, he will just say, come out from among them. He will take you to a quiet place, because it's in quietness he can teach you how to deal with these things. It's not in noise and hasty and everything. Okay, so one of the things to understand is when God wants to help you or work with you, first thing is asking for time and space to engage with you, because God doesn't compete with all the other stuff, because he knows other stuff tries to force feed you, but they break what they are force feeding. They break the quantum. Anything that is done with negative force is coming to throw your world. Yeah, and then you're like, you're grasping, like, that's the bombardment. They don't want you to have a grip or a handle of your identity of yourself. Trust me. Trust me, there's a realm. It's like if the plane is, when you're ascending, you need power to ascend. Have you seen a plane try to take off without jet fuel, or a rocket ship try to go to the moon without power? That's some of the things people are doing today. I want to do this, I want to do that. Where's your power bank? Where's your power pack? Anybody that starts that journey without power, they don't know the gravitational force that keeps people from going to the moon. Force opposite. That's why you need a breakthrough. So first you fuel your jet engine, whatever you are traveling with, your plane. Knowing that there's headwinds, you ride the opposing force to greater heights. But the way you get breakthrough is your own force must be greater than the force. The way you ride and you ascend is your force is always greater, must be greater than the force coming at you. That's when you ride up. And as you're riding up, the tension, the pressure is real. There's nobody doing anything great or trying to recreate or create a new reality, particularly if they are coming from people who are coming from the ground. You want to live in the sky. You are people who are ground floor. You want to live in penthouse. There's an elevator, but power is what moves people up. The ascension is you ascend with power, and to the level you power yourself, that's the level you live in spiritually. So when we say spiritual ascension, that's it. The pressure of your will to insist that your quantum look the way you want it to look, with the help of God, with discernment. You don't play in the quantum, and don't let anybody you get to a place you'll be like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. If you haven't cleaned up your quantum, don't touch me, because when people start they are transferring their own stuff. Now you are dealing with other people's stuff. Everybody you are related with, you're dealing with their stuff. I'm saying, are you finished dealing with your stuff? But that's why I said the divine feminine puts order in society. And you need, after you power yourself, everybody you're connected to will get the memo. They will change, they will adjust. The relationship dynamic changes, because when you upgrade, guess what happens? The power dynamics changes, because now you have more power. When you were young, they had more power. If you don't grow up, they will still continue to have power. And that programming, as you are growing, right? Unless you break that thing, you reset it. You set yourself free. This is when we talk about codependency. Codependent versus independent is that you still feel like you are resourced. As long as you are resourced this way, you can't fly. You can't fly above whatever you're connected to this way. And codependency was supposed to stop when you stopped drinking milk, right? And liquid stuff. When you want to drink milk, meat, you're supposed to go and find your own meat. So even in the cycle of life, like I shared earlier, there were some things. I'm looking at time. In a few seconds, this will close. I'll open another round. But in the circle of life, okay, you were supposed to mature out and grow in to your higher self. However, people can be stuck in the middle because the energetic entanglement, you are living in the quantum field of somebody else. Physically, you cut the umbilical cord, but if the energetic cord in the quantum, you're still being resourced by somebody else. So it's somebody else praying for you. It is somebody else designing your quantum for you. It's somebody else launching you into your life. Their prayer is what is holding you up. Their story. My child must be this, my child must be, okay, their stories in your quantum, they've laid the blueprint. You did